In this episode, we're going to talk about the 3 things that consultants need to pay attention to in the new year. Welcome to your Consulting Business Podcast. My name is Russell Pearson, and this is episode number 64. Happy New Year! This is 2024, and if you're watching this in the future, welcome to the past. You're in the future. Good to see you. Anyway, my name is Russell Pearson. This show is all about helping consultants build a successful consulting business and or practice. And today, because it is the start of the new year, I want to talk about the 3 things that I'm actually focusing on and really thinking that other consultants need to be paying attention to as we move into 2024. And it'll be interesting to look back from the future and actually see how relevant these things were. Some of them are a little bit universal, some of them are very timely and topical right now, and it'll be fascinating to actually look back in time and see how it went. Now, if you are a consultant and haven't already subscribed to your Consulting Business Podcast, I would love you to do that, whether it be on YouTube by clicking the subscribe button and hitting the bell, or whether it's by whatever audio platform you're getting the podcast from. You can subscribe right there. You can also leave us a review. We really appreciate everything that you say about and to us, so we're looking forward to hearing more of your comments throughout the year. So let's get down to it. What are the 3 things that I think we need to focus on as successful consultants in 2024? Well, the first is artificial intelligence. Now, how can we get away from that? Well, we can't, because it made such a big splash, even though it's been around for a long time, but it made such a big splash in 2023. And with, at the end of 2023, the launch of Gemini, which is Google's artificial intelligence, multimodal artificial intelligence, we need to really start now looking at how are we using it? What is our relationship with artificial intelligence? And at least having our finger on the pulse to know what is happening within our space. Now, as consultants, it's a modality that we use, but we may have our own specific sector that we work in. And so making sure that you're aware, at least in your sector, what artificial intelligence tools people are now using, so you can actually bring that into your strategic focus and be thinking about how they may be able to help your clients along the way. Now, with the release of Gemini, obviously we've got multimodal, which means it can now see, hear, and they're moving into a space where they're going to bring in robotics so that it can have tactile touch. But if you haven't had a look at that, definitely go and have a look. It's a leap above ChatGPT, because that is just one mode, which is the text-based one. There are multimodal activities that are happening with Gemini, and it's worth a look. Now, all that's happened within a year. It was 6 months before the release of ChatGPT that I was actually interviewing my good friend Craig Rispin about that subject, and back then people were not paying attention. Well, I can tell you right now, they are paying attention, and it means that the more focus on artificial intelligence there is, the faster that flywheel will spin, and the faster the iteration. So I think that we're actually going to see some much bigger things. I've got no real idea about where it's going to go outside of where I thought it was already going to go, which is it's going to be advisors for us advisors. So we can actually have our own board of directors behind us. We can have our financial manager, our marketing manager, HR manager, all these different people that we can speak to say, we're thinking about doing this thing. What do you think? And you've got to be responsible for your own decisions, absolutely. But it's a really interesting frame that you're now seeing with these GPT agents, where we can actually use their input to start seeing things in multi-dimensions. We can start seeing different points of view from really smart artificial intelligence. So it's smart. Is it wise? Well, we'll see in 2024 where the wisdom kicks in. And I think when robotics starts to get in touch with these things and it starts doing things, the B2 have, that's when it's starting to get fascinating, if not scary. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the year. But if you're not focusing on it, I suggest that you do. Number 2, people don't leave programs, they leave coaches. Now, that's in the coaching space. We're in the consulting space. It is a different modality, but that seems to be very much the case, always has, in this space, that people either come to specific consultants or leave specific consultants based off the relationship. So we've known for like eons, as long as consulting has been around, that trust and the relationship are such a large part of us being able to collaborate and work with our clients. I wanted to quickly jump in and remind you about RussellPearsonPrograms.com.
We put all sorts of resources specifically for consultants on that page. And if you go there right now, you'll see that there are some new resources available absolutely free for you to download. So go to russellpearsonprograms.com. Now, back to the show.
But now that technology is starting to make massive waves, the question is, what is the value of that relationship? And I think it's even more valuable. I think right now we need to double down on the relationship side of things, because knowledge is everywhere. It's the relationship that people have to be able to trust that the information, or the filter being us, that the information comes through has its best thoughts for us, right? So we want to make sure that we trust that the clients are going to be people that we want to work with, but at the same time, we need to probably open ourselves up more. I mean, I do a lot of this. This channel in particular is something where I'm sharing very much of myself, but I think the opportunity for you as a consultant is to share a little bit more about who you are. What do you do when you're not doing consulting? What is the rest of your life like? And I think now we're past the point where we can separate professional life and personal life. I think the real opportunity is to combine those things together and have a much stronger presence for our clients and for the world. So how can we show more of us, our personality and the way we work, not the mask version, not the branded version, not the version we decide to make pretty, but the real version, and with the idea that we as consultants, as successful consultants, are always working on ourselves. So we're always self-developing. We're working on how can we be doing better so that we can help pace and then lead our clients. Well, as long as we're doing that, as long as we're not pretending, we're actually focusing on getting better and improving the whole time, then I think there is nothing to be worried about showing who you are and what you do, because there'll be more value that people will get out of seeing someone who is really walking the talk and actually being the person that they may even aspire to be, that you're actually going to move from a place of just consulting, just trusted advisor, and get to the other side where people will start to see you as a mentor and really look to emulate the person that you have become. So how can you show more of yourself? I think relationships are a big part of that. How do we connect stronger? How do we have better empathy? How do we be able to connect in a more effective way with those that we intend to do great work with? So that was number 2. Number 3 is, it's similar to the relationship one, and this is something that has been true again for eons. But right now, in this time in history, we have never been more connected as a global community, but we've also never felt more isolated, because it's one of those things where there is a real, how can I say it? There is a real disconnect because of technology, because of even this thing here, and less actual connections that seem to be happening. Obviously, we've had a good reason for that to happen, but people are tending to move away because of either their introverted preferences or whatever it might be, move away from the hand-to-hand, the touch-to-touch, to actually a space where people are a little bit more disconnected. And so while the relationship is also relevant to that, I think the word understanding is key. I think there has never been a more important time for our clients or the people we wish to work with to feel heard, right? How can we ensure that people do feel heard and understood, right? Well, the easiest way for us to ensure that we hear and understand people is to listen and have empathy for. And this is something that I've always struggled with over the years. You get good at something and you just want to tell people the answers. But sometimes people don't want you to remove the nail from their head when it's obvious that that's the problem. They actually want to feel understood before they're ready to take that step. And I think now with technology being such an integral part of the work that we do, it is creating some form of disconnect from people, that they sometimes feel isolated from the larger global community, even though we are probably more connected through communication than ever before. So how can you work on yourself to ensure that you are able to listen proactively, listen effectively, and ensure that the other person feels heard, so that you can actually create that greater connection? So it is kind of part of the same thing, but I think that's the real opportunity for everyone, is to really understand the community that you're looking to lead or at least advise. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? And it's not just about guessing, and it's not looking at some bigger community, call it a market, and saying, what is the market thinking? I think we need to get down and dirty and actually get into the conversations with the individuals that we want to work with to really get the language that people are using so that we can actually understand them and actually understand the etymology of the words that we're using and that they're using, so we can get a deeper understanding of where they're at. So they're my three focuses, I think, for consultants in particular in 2024. Number one, artificial intelligence. Make sure that you're aware of it and are looking to integrate it. Number two, how can you show more of you? How can you be more present as a human versus that technology? So that means sharing more of yourself as a personal human as well as a professional one. And number three, how can you ensure that your clients and the greater market that you're looking to lead is actually feeling heard and listened to? I think if those things are clear, the game of consulting has never been more needed. With so much change going on in all sectors, it is an amazing time for people to seek advice, to seek consultancy. And if we are responsible for making sure that we're knowledgeable, understanding, and in touch with what's happening in our communities, then we are the person to help them bridge their gaps. And so I wish you a successful 2024. If you haven't already checked it out, Russell Pearson Programs is where you can get resources that we make available. I run the Forge Business Community if you're ever looking to actually work on your consulting business and improve the outcomes with it, especially through ensuring that you've got the right amount of clients so that you can become the select consultant. If you don't know what that is, the select consultant is that person who is really able to work when they want. And that's by the choices that they make. It's by being selective about who they work with, which means you're going to have to say no to some people. And to say no to some people, you need enough throughput of client opportunities to make sure that you can actually have the freedom and flexibility to work with whomever you like. So if you don't know what that is, go and check it out. RussellPearsonPrograms.com is where the select consultant is. The Forge is the thing that really helps you build a business that has the throughput of client opportunities and client engagements, so that you can actually say no to those people who are not ideal and select the ones that are perfect for your consulting business. Until next time, my name is Russell Pearson. I look forward to catching you on the next episode. Stay passionate, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.